that point.
Yeah.
I didn't realize because you're a Muppet.
Well, good morning, welcome this morning. I'm going to be the host. I'm going to try this. I think this is the second time I've done this. Welcome to City Life. Today we have to my right Sean Mcdonough, and then Bobby Hoey's running late this morning, so he'll be here joining us. We're here to talk about anything. So if you're out there listening, send some stuff. I brought some ideas in this morning to keep us focused on something, but we'll start off with Sean. You know, what's going on, Sean? I know
Good
there's
morning.
a lot of good morning. Yes, and you
Good morning.
look happy, good smile. You on vacation?
I am faking it till I make it with this smile.
I like it.
No, I think I'm doing more work now than when I got to go to.
Yeah, we should be
going to the high
facing
school.
the camera.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm trying to get used to this.
I know.
Those, you really appreciate folks that are on TV when they do a good job at this. But
well, and there's only two of us right now. Usually, when it's full, you have no choice but to look straight ahead.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah.
You
You
really
get cramp in here.
But no, things are good. I hate daylight savings time. I think we should abolish it.
No, we can't.
Why?
The kids at the bus stop. It's too dark for the kids at the bus stop. That's the only reason we do the daylight savings.
But it's dark for the kids at the bus stop in the middle of winter.
It's too dark.
Okay.
But they all got flashlights now in their phones, so they should be fine.
Just the rich kids.
Yeah, rich
You don't
kids.
care about the poor kids.
The
at
poor,
all.
and you're right. They don't care about the poor people in this city. So
I just don't like it. I don't like changing my clock. That's all. I just pick a time, and we should keep that time.
I agree with you. But then someone will be out of job because someone actually has to program all this equipment to change automatically because we're so lazy about things.
All right, what are we talking about, Francisco? I can't do a whole bit on. It's too early for me to do the bit on daylight savings.
On daylight savings.
It's too early. I need more.
I don't know. What do you want to start on?
I don't know.
I know. You have a meeting tonight. What's on the agenda for the meeting?
So we get the Markley thing on the meeting. The moratorium for Markley is on the agenda tonight. That's really the only thing. That's the big thing on the agenda tonight. There are some other items, but the big one is going to be the moratorium. Hopefully, the moratorium on data center construction or expansion.
Yeah, that's gone national. I heard. A lot of people are talking about that and looking at what you guys going to do with that.
Well, I know a few cities around Massachusetts people have reached out as they start to go through their own data center problem, and they don't even have something like we have with Markley yet, but they look over to Lowell, and it's kind of sad, but they're saying that people have looked at Lowell and said, well, we absolutely don't want to look like that in our community, and so they're pointing at us as a bad example of what these data center things can do and the importance of having.
The child.
Yes, yeah, we are the poster child for when the data center goes wrong, when the medium scale data center goes wrong, because a lot of the national attention is on these hyperscale facilities in the middle of the country and down in Virginia, where they make Markley look like a I don't know, like a beach cooler. But even a beach cooler is not great when it's in your backyard and blowing smoke in your window all day, every day.
Yeah, they've done not such a great job for that neighborhood, you know.
I do think it's very interesting because so you have choices, right, with what you spend your money on, and what Markley has chosen to spend their money on rather than doing anything for the community outside of like a performative brook cleanup and trying to put a kitchen in a fire station, like outside of the real performative stuff, what they've chosen to do with their money locally is rather than benefit the working people who live near the plant, they pay well-connected former councilors, former managers, people connected to our congressperson. That's where they put their money. It's better to pay for lobbyists it's better to pay for lawyers whose only lawyering happens to be making phone calls and lobbying city councilors.
Doesn't look as if their power generators are running today.
Nice.
That's good. Maybe they're on.
It's because there's a hearing tonight. We got a public hearing today. They always turn them off before the public hearing.
It's dark.
Yeah,
It's dark. I'll take a look later. What's gonna go to 70 degrees today? Gonna be beautiful.
It's going to be very warm,
It's
yeah.
gonna be
Yesterday,
nice.
we opened the windows in the house. It was fabulous to get fresh air in the house. Let old man Winter out of the building. Today, set an alarm on your phone for like 11 this morning and go open your windows.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of dog walking today. Perfect dog walking weather.
It's a good day to go outside and not a good day for bicycling. Still got the
Yeah,
snowbanks.
big snow piles everywhere.
But a good day for a walk.
Good day
There was
for
a
walk.
lot of melting on yesterday, and I noticed that. Everywhere I went, there was running water, so that was good. No, they stopped dumping the snow into the river, but
They got
you
a
still,
permit to do that.
you still,
They
did they?
Yeah, they put in for an emergency one.
But you still have the water run into the river anyway, because all the lines that have been separated for drainage drain right into the river. I don't think there's any treatment with some of that water.
Well,
it just
if
goes
the
right
river won't support fish life, why are we drinking that water?
in. Yeah, well, it's the
The
best.
Merrimack has some fish.
Yeah, there's.
It has
Would
some.
you eat any of it?
I don't think you eat any fish today anywhere. I mean, that's the advice they give you. Too much mercury, they say.
There was an issue. I always struggle to find it again. But I remember talking to when I was in college. Bob Ferrant was talking about when some of the Cambodian when earlier, like the 80s, people were fishing in the canals and they were eating the fish, and they had to do this like public health campaign about don't eat canal carp because canal carp is full of crap. I wouldn't want to eat canal carp.
I got
but,
some comments from the audience, first from the mayor,
oh boy.
responding to the water comment. Because it gets treated. We're speaking of the water.
It does get treated.
And then the next comment, good morning. The city council has to bear some responsibility for Markley. They all approve the plan over there.
I didn't.
Most. So she
I mean,
corrected
but-
it.
Ah.
I got one more text, which brings me to the point, why is the front runner city not being discussed? What's going on with the front runner city?
Well, we got a counselor here. Let's.
I wish I
George.
had any answers for you. I don't know. I'm
thought-
not sure. We haven't heard anything about. I mean, it was something that came up a lot over the summer, and then I think that the multiplier on the size of the money, it was like we were playing a video game and we just kept hitting like.
Didn't we spend $500,000 on this?
We have a dedicated subcommittee made up of the former mayor, Councilor Scott and Councilor
So
Dakota.
Danny Rourke, Kim Scott, yeah.
Who were three of the
Who else
of
besides
Dakota? So Councilor Dakota, Councilor
John Dakota?
Scott,
Okay.
and so I mean those are three of the most dedicated front-runner city councilors, and they are tasked with continuing to update the rest of the council and the public, and to pursue that program.
Well, during the campaign, there were, everyone was saying they're going to break grounds tomorrow. Tomorrow. We're going to be making big announcements on millions. I thought they were even talking billions of dollars were coming in.
Well,
It was-
it must have fell through.
Well, I also think that during the campaign, and this is the problem, right, is whether there's something coming or there's not something coming, that during the campaign, it was a campaign issue, but it wasn't the candidates that kept saying millions and billions and trillions or whatever were coming, right?
Yeah.
And I made a similar comment the other day, and then that resulted in you being called a Muppet, Francisco, is that I said that I think people with a certain political agenda, I didn't call Francisco a Muppet.
Oh, thank you.
People with a certain political agenda in this city.
What
really,
does being a Muppet mean?
I don't know.
Because the late George Anthes and myself, we were referred to as Muppets. You know the two old people, the two old guys, we were referred to as those two old guys. And George got rest his soul, got a big kick out of that.
But-
Got comments from the audience. It's atrocious that they all went around jet setting around the world, and who paid for that? I'm going to guess the taxpayers did.
I certainly
That's
did
a
not
guess.
go jet setting, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the thing. It was during the campaign, and it was very clear that the front runner thing, as it was used as a political tool, was a political tool used to make an argument for continuity, for incumbency, for status quo, and that argument didn't resonate with voters. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Councilor Liang would not be on the council. Councilor Duran would not be on the council. And I don't know that Mayor Gittier would be the mayor, right? So I don't know that the political argument that was made about...
Speaking of mayor, did you ever give your vote to somebody before you voted?
No,
So you were always for Eric?
I was never for anybody. Eric knew when he knew.
Okay, so on voting day, that's when you made the decision. You didn't promise your vote to...
No, I said on Friday. I went on Gary's show in the morning on Friday before swearing in, and that is when I said how I was voting.
And who did you say you were voting for?
I said on Friday before voting that I was going to be voting for Eric.
Okay, cool. Because somebody put into my ear that you promised your vote to somebody and gave it to somebody else. And I says,
No, I said so, and this is what annoys me is if my life would have been a lot easier if I had done that. I can show you all of the missed calls and texts. No, not you, John. I could show anybody. This is because I know where this comes from, and I could show you all of the texts and all of the phone calls, asking for my vote to be mayor from somebody, and it wasn't Mayor Gittier. And had I actually promised that vote, I think my wife would have enjoyed dinner a little bit more.
was this the guy who had somebody call your mother?
I don't think anyone had somebody call my mother, but somebody did call my mother. I can't imagine that anyone told someone to call my mom. That would be insane. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt on that one. I don't know how much longer I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I give it the benefit of the doubt.
What town does your mom live in?
My mom lives in Methuen.
So somebody called your mother, who lives in Methuen, and told her what? And if you want to leave her out of it, I don't blame you. I'd leave my mother out of it. I'd just say, nope, sorry. You're inside my family circle. We're not going there.
Yeah, that's.
I learned that from Governor Deval Patrick.
I'm not going to keep going. I don't want to get my mom in anymore. But
Let me tell you the shenanigans with Governor
but
Deval Patrick.
But I did not promise my vote to anyone. I sat down before Deval Patrick. I was in the former mayor's office, and he asked for my vote, and I said I am not making any promises because I don't want to be a liar. No one else has asked. No, I've not talked to anybody else yet. But I do not want to make a commitment and then go back on my word. I don't want to do that. So I never promised my vote to anybody.
Okay.
I said on one radio interview during the campaign that I think at the time current mayor ran a good meeting, but that I am focused on my campaign, and what that turned into in what amounts to, I mean, it's a very favorable media to that.
Comment from the audience. It was a shell game, the Front Runner City. I think the manager should explain what happened, or at least maybe the new mayor can explain. That's from Jay.
So, going back to your decision and vote for mayor, did you hear from your community, you're in downtown, I almost said the Acre. Did you get feedback from the voters or the constituents in who they wanted to see?
There was no winning on that mayor vote. So several people from across the river, I think they know I'm Sean one-term Mcdonough, which is, that's fine. Good luck. I welcome it. I think my wife would be happy. Plus, it's more fun. Campaigning is fun. On my side of the river, it was mixed to, well, why didn't you vote for Councilor Noon? I don't think anybody saw Mayor Gittier coming, but I think it's what made the most sense. I think he's doing a pretty good job, and I'm very glad that he's in the seat.
No,
I think this debacle around the senior center, I think, is proving to both myself and I would imagine a lot of other people why it was important to have somebody like Mayor Getchier in the mayor's chair.
Now, you think you're going to get a response to that motion in regards to on what steps you need to do to, I think, if I have it right, to get an attorney to represent the councilors? Or?
Yeah, I think we already know what his response is going to be. They told us at the last meeting without telling us.
Okay.
So they said, oh, well, we haven't had a chance to do motion prep. You know, we didn't have an answer for you, but this is against the charter. And I said, which is a wild thing to say. We didn't have a chance to do motion prep. We're not prepared to answer this question. But anyway, here's what we're going to say is it's against the charter. So I imagine, and I would...
Can they yellow out in the charter what they're talking about?
They're talking about section 39
I know,
of the charter.
yellow it out and show
Okay.
it to the citizens, show it to the audience.
I
Watch
am not a municipal lawyer. I don't think it's against the charter. I also think that an argument about the charter is going to be it would be a really hard one, although we won't have a lawyer, but it would be a really hard one because our charter, Plan E supersedes our charter anywhere that there is a contradiction. And the version of the charter from 1921 that is available in the code book is 23 years older than when we adopted Plan E, I believe. Mm-hmm. So going back and forth between the two and seeing, oh, well, Plan E would let me do X. Oh, the charter says you can only do X if one. Okay, but this version says it's a silly legalese argument that I think you could confidently argue from either side, but that typically means that we're going to argue. The manager solicitor is going to take a special version of that argument.
And do you know the salary of the solicitor? I mean, is there a possibility that the city council could have their own attorney?
Well, so
that if down the road there's a conflict between the interest of the city manager and the interest of the city council, you can separate it?
The easiest way for the council, the way that we absolutely can get a council for the council would be, sorry, I was looking for my municipal budget sheet, would be for the manager to recommend the appropriation.
Okay.
So if the manager were to recommend, and this is really why instead of requesting a path for how we secure council, which is fine, I know why that was the way it was done. What we could have done is request the manager appropriate X dollars for the purpose of X, and then some would say, oh no, you can't tell him how. No, we can't tell him how. We can request.
Yes.
We can suggest. We can't make him move the money, but the path is right there. The path is there.
Yes,
If he actually wants to do it, he can. If the administration wants to do it, if they want to, as they say, follow the will of the council, they can. If they don't, they don't. But I don't want to get into this, this garbage about, oh well, the charter says X. Yeah, okay, great. The charter also says we need a vinegar inspector. Mm-hmm. The charter says we can't engage in any labor contracts. Well, we do. We do the clerks.
Who's the vinegar inspector?
I don't know, but it's in the charter.
Okay.
So,
I'm sure Tommy's hired somebody there.
I don't know who the vinegar inspector is, but if we're going back to 1921 for every piece of literal guidance, I want my vinegar inspector.
I don't talk to Tom Golden that much, so I'm not sure, but I'm confident we do have a vinegar inspector.
I'm sure it's got to be part of the health inspector title, right? Like, I don't know. Now I got to look.
Why do we need a vinegar? It doesn't make any difference. We have somebody in charge of horse troughs.
Well, in 1920, whatever, you needed a vinegar inspector.
You need a horse trough filler too.
Yeah, we had a milk inspector, a vinegar inspector. We had a city barn.
Now let me ask you. So it's just if I was a city councilor and I did run right, but if I did get elected, do you guys? When you put a motion together, you don't run it to the legal department. You don't have counsel that helps you on
Well, so that should not
better word.
$184,000 a year.
100.
City
84,000.
solicitor went from in 2023 on my list. In 2023, I have $142,930,000. And now, as of the last budget, the council approved paying him paying $184,389.39.
I'm going to back the bus up a little bit.
Yeah.
Someone from the audience wants to know about the roundabout at the end of the connector.
The rotary.
And this is a picture of it, and this is a picture of it
Looks
completed. This will be completed by 2028. And so what's going to happen? Gorham Street now, this is Gorham Street, this is the connector. Right now, the connector comes straight down to Gorham Street. And what the state's going to do is they're going to put what they call a roundabout. A roundabout doesn't have any stops, there's no yields, there's no nothing. It's just a roundabout. There's no stop signs, there's no nothing. So in 2030, if you're coming from downtown Lowell, you're going to come up Gorham Street right here. You're going to take a right, get a little bit of the roundabout here, and you're going to head out the connector that way. Done day, okay? If you're coming from the cemetery area, coming down Gorham Street, coming from back Central, you're going to come down Gorham Street this way, go into the roundabout, and out the connector you go. Now coming home, and you're coming in the connector, and you want to go through downtown, you're going to go in the roundabout over here, and you're going to go towards downtown. Or back Central, you're going to go down here and head out to back Central or out to Chelmsford. That's how the roundabout's going to work. Back here for the neighborhood, they've moved this roundabout up the hill a little bit, away from Gorham Street. So these purple things, I believe, are bike lanes. And so they can be, and pedestrians. So I think that's what the purple stuff is. This is parking spots for this part of the neighborhood here that are going to lose their parking in front of their house. So they made parking spots here. So it's a pretty cool design. And after the presentation, the only gripe that I had was there's nothing to prevent sleepy drivers from hitting the house that's right here.
Right.
There's no stop signs, there's no blinking lights, there's no anything. So if you're a little drowsy and you're driving your 18-wheeler or your 4-wheeler and you fall asleep, you're going to go bumpily, 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 and still hit the house.
It's a lot more space, though, before you hit the house.
But when you're asleep.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm saying...
So I asked the people from the state, I said, listen, what you put together here I think is fabulous, but if you can put your heads together one more time and just find a way to wake up this sleepy driver, and I don't care if it's just something that will blink brightly when you're exceeding the speed limit at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I wanted to just answer the person who sent me a text, what happened to the roundabout, and that's the plan.
We should call that the John Mcdonough.
No,
roundabout.
nothing to do with me. Nothing
No.
to State did a great, I got to pat them on the back. The state did a great job with that design.
They did. That's a good design.
You know, the one thing that I know with yield signs, and you go into a rotary, you go into the rotary with the consent that if there's an accident after going into that rodeo from a yield sign, you take at fault for the crash. There's no, it makes it easier for the insurance to determine who's at fault. That's in the Chapter 90 laws. So if you're...
With dash cams, it takes that all out of account.
Everybody should get a dash cam.
A dash cam, well, what's the dash cam say? The dash cam is biblical.
Yeah, no, I suggest people have cameras on everything they can possibly can put a camera on. I mean, I think the police department dropped, the ball, I guess, on where the firefighters require new buildings to have suspension, suppressing system, the police departments should be doing the same thing with on video surveillance, so that there's more on cameras out there to deter crime and also gather evidence to help.
So here's the problem, not with dash cams, with cameras in general. Though, is we have too many. We actually have too many of them. Not security cameras, not closed circuit TV, but the automatic license plate readers that are suddenly trendy to talk about. And I might have missed my window here.
Probably had them for 10 years.
But now we have. So Lowell has a contract with Flock, and what companies like that do is they give us a really good deal on installing these license plate reading cameras. So we pay way less, than we probably should be paying, because like all products in tech, if you feel like you're getting a deal that's too good to be true, or if you're not paying anything or you're not paying enough, it's because, Cisco.
They didn't read the fine print.
No, it's because you're not. It's because you're the product. You're the product. You're not buying a product. You are the product. And so what this company, like others, do is they take all of that nice location data that they can get from the make and model of your car or your license plate number, and they put all of that into probably at Markley. They put all of that into a nice big data storage area, and then anyone else can then pay, any other agency can then pay for a subscription to that data bank, and then they can track, hey, where's Cisco? What's Cisco's what is Cisco normally doing? What's John Mcdonough normally doing? And if a government agency wanted to get this kind of data using anything other than your license plate, which is only now enabled because we can dump all of this into the cloud.
Yep.
But if you wanted to get your location data from your cell phone, you need to take a search warrant to Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T, whoever your cell carrier is. If you want to get very similar information using just the license plates, which is how we get all of these license plate readers for, I think it was $56,000 a year. It's because we're the product.
What does the Lowell Police Department or the citizens of Lowell get out of this $56,000? What's in it for us?
So what's in it for us is that
and is it utilized?
The bid that brought us the Flock cameras was for the license plate readers. The license plate readers on their own are they're fairly innocuous.
I know they're fantastic.
But
Sean, you don't understand. We had all these gizmos,
right?
And the police departments just refused to use them because there were too many violations for them to handle.
Well, and so I guess
that's why they get rid of them.
And that's a question.
Now, you were a cop back then, Cisco. Is that true?
No, they use the Flock for determining direction after an incident if they have a vehicle description.
I understand.
So we have used it like that, and there is at least one really positive press story about using it to find a driver from a hit and run, I think, is what it was in Lowell.
So we paid $57,000 to serve
one
accident.
The issue is that what we're doing with all of this data from the Flock cameras that is not just being used to find hit and run accidents. That's being used every time any license plate goes by, because this is not a human that needs to sift through anymore. It's just a computer that can just run the number and track. And then with a plain language search, because it's got like a ChatGPT thing attached to it, like Ask, just to kind of understand. You can say, if you had access to the Flock database and you were in Texas, you could say, I want to know big blue pickup truck, Rodney Elliott sign on the left side that's dark blue and says this. And without even knowing the license plate number, you can find Cisco. If you want to find, where are all of the roofing vans in the city normally, and you pay for access to this database, which those people do, you could say, white van, ladders on roof, about this guessing make and model. Oh, here they are. You don't even need the license plate. if you wanted to know, what time does John Mcdonough go to the what day of the week and what time does John Mcdonough go to the grocery store? What's his normal drive pattern? Boom, here's the map. That's what these cameras that we've paid for do, and we don't use that. I mean, maybe we use that. I don't know if Lowell PD cares about that, but
we paid $57,000. Now, one of the audience reminds us that it helped us found the guy who shot that guy up at Brown University shooter.
okay.
Yes.
And thank you for that comment. But we paid $57,000, and you tell me one car accident got solved, and what else?
I don't like. So even with the car accident, even with the Brown University shooter, and this maybe is, I've done a pretty good job at not paying all that much attention to making sure I only say things that are politically popular in Lowell, but I like privacy. Like, I like privacy. And I'm not I don't do a lot wrong. Actually, I don't know that I really do much criminally wrong. I don't think I might be a loser. I don't know if I've ever really broken a good law. I know I don't.
You ever stole a candy at the supermarket? I always said,
other than occasionally running afoul potentially of the city charter, I don't know that I'm a frequent lawbreaker. But I think that privacy and personal privacy is important. And one, we are spending money on this, and two, I don't really like collecting that much data. I think we're better off with a little bit of privacy. I think it's invasive enough that the phone tracking everywhere I go is bad enough.
no, I see that point, and I think it's on.
Yeah, the panopticon is not a good thing.
Yeah, something we should look close at on. If we're not getting, like John says, if we're not getting a good return on our investment, why are we paying for this subscription that
and I think
isn't giving us any
Another
real
comment from the audience.
return?
There are cities that are canceling their contracts with flock companies. The people don't want a government surveillance state.
I agree with you. So I've been looking into this for a little while now, because I've weeks ago, honestly, probably.
How about a camera at the weed shop on Rogers Street? They'd definitely be able to write a bunch of tickets in that location.
Well, so weeks ago on that first comment, and I could look and see when, but it was quite a while ago now, relative to, how long I've been here, which isn't that long. An attorney in town had reached out with a freedom of information, an open records request that they had filed with the police department, regarding flock cameras, and laying out what he saw as his problem with flock, and it was all of these comments about personal privacy, and I agreed with him. The flock contract had snuck past. I wasn't on the council yet, but when the council had passed that, it snuck past my attention. It snuck past most media attention.
Yeah.
I had started looking into this, trying to figure out, okay, so what exactly are we paying for? What can I figure out kind of before? Because I want to have my ducks in a row. I don't like talking about something I don't know enough about. And so I started doing my own research, not just on flock, but on flock and Lowell. And then between then and now, there was a Super Bowl ad that got people thinking. And then some surrounding communities have started canceling. And so I think as the public becomes more aware of what these flock cameras are, and I would encourage anyone who's watching this who doesn't know or who has some questions to do a couple Google searches and start reading up on these things. I think this is a conversation that the city council, that the city of Lowell is going to need to have about if this is a
What
company
does the
we
state
want to work
police
with.
have in the city? What does ICE have in the city? What does the FBI have in the city?
Would they all pay for access? So I don't know if the state police pays, but I know ICE, and I would assume if ICE pays that the FBI paying. ICE pays for access to the flock cameras, so they get access to that same database.
So why shouldn't we turn the contract around and demand money for that information?
Well, I just
if
think,
not, shut it down.
I think making sure. So it could be, and I haven't found an answer to this. So it could be that Lowell isn't putting their data. I mean, that would be seemingly not very common with this product. But it could be that Lowell is not sharing that information. It could be. I don't know. But that's the business model of this company is to aggregate all of this information.
But it has to be stored. So if it's being stored and being retrieved, then people have access to it. So I would think that
Right. Well, and then you have your termination guidelines, and I don't want to be completely wrong because I don't have notes in front of me, but I think it's the standard 30 days if there's no
Okay.
violate, but it's still I need to. This is where I get confused on. There's what's stored locally. There's what goes to kind of the flock computers. There are a lot of questions about what any given city with a contract with flock is giving them, what we're getting, and I think before just kind of saying, and this is why I haven't put anything in, is before jumping to, oh, now we cancel the contract. It's okay, but what are we giving them? What are we getting from them? Is there a value? I don't like the security state at all. So if it's a panopticon, I don't know there's enough benefit to outweigh living inside a panopticon and making it bigger and the surveillance tighter. I think it's bad.
I mean,
My family all work for the NSA, so yeah.
No, I can understand the privacy issue. If we're not receiving compensation for it, and I mean that information should be deleted. I mean, 30 days is reasonable, I guess, but
Well, and what they'll say, and this is laws, and this is not the city law. This is national and state law. Not if you put on a computer in front of something, suddenly it's legal again. What they'll say is, well, none of this. There's no expectation of privacy. You're on a public road. You're in a car. It's a license plate. Anyone could look up that car. But what we've done is, when you take a system like Flock and you take the human out of that, there's a big difference between, hey, we're looking for this car, right, and actually having to put a patrolman in a car at an intersection and look for the car. Okay, which is cumbersome. But what we've done is, everywhere there's a Flock camera, it's the equivalent of having that patrolman, but for every single car that goes by, and we can log it all because these computers are so capable of tracking and storing that data that this is not, oh yeah, I saw the red car, oh yeah, I think Cisco, this is kind of what he does, he's on our radar, and this is what we know.
Turning the page
Yeah.
to Lowell High School,
Oh boy.
a question for Councilor Mcdonough. Where are we with the high overage of the school? Where are we with the high school overages? Can you speak to that?
I've been recused from so many of these discussions, but I am coming back in, and so I am actively I'm catching up. I do know I took a tour of the demolition side, the ongoing demolition of the 1892 interior space, and the city got screwed. Hey, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the city got screwed in the 90s during the last renovation. I'll have to look and see
You
who that
don't
was.
say.
You say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. So there are these steel support beams that were supposed to be bolted on to the original timbers from the 1890s when they built the structure. And what the company that was working in the 90s did is, sometimes they didn't put the beam on, they didn't attach the support beam, but most often, which is worse, they put the beam on. They took the metal, right? They took the steel, they put it in the old lumber, and then they didn't bolt it to the wall. So they just added weight. They just added weight. They didn't put a plate in the wall.
They didn't transfer the weight to the wall.
Correct. And they didn't transfer the weight to the wall. So you just have, original wood timber, and then you have a steel beam, and then the steel beam is just there. It's not providing any additional support. If anything, it's hurting. The building is still, structurally fine, but all of that work that was not done correctly and was signed off for in the 90s needs to be corrected, and so that's where this next overage is going to.
Cisco, you want to read these two from Jeff
I
Thomas?
got to put my glasses on.
Oh, poor guy.
All right. Argue the point. At 11, all 11 councilors represent the taxpayers, and we want answers, not an opinion from city legal department. I agree there. Councilors should be able to have a law firm on retainer for these types of issues. I agree there. It's not that I don't believe the law department has the counselor's best interest, but in the long run, the department is for the city first, not the residents.
Comment from the audience. So who got fired for the mishap on the beam, Sean?
I was born in 1995. So I know this project this problem is from 1992, and was not allegedly, and I think this is a question that needs to be investigated. The city deserves answers. We are currently being assaulted with the sins of the past right now, from the high school project, from the high school vote, from the senior center, and there are questions that I don't think we have answers to right now. So who got fired for the beam project? Allegedly, we didn't know about. So in the written plan, this is what Skanska is saying now. Believe Skanska, don't believe Skanska. But what Skanska is saying is that in the written plan, that there is a record of all of this work happening, and all of this work was hidden behind a wall. And if you're looking at a plan and it says, here is all of the work that was done and paid for in 1992, and it's behind this wall, but it was done, and this is what we did. I think of all the things that they've done wrong, I'm not sure that believing work that was bought and paid for was actually bought and paid for. I don't know that is on the current project team. Unlike the floor issue. I think the floor issue is 100% on the current project team. There are lots of things here that have been within their control. Somebody needs to find out who was running this project in 1992 and who we paid, because there is I believe that Suffolk Construction was on the project in 1992, and Suffolk Construction is the one building today. And so if that's the case, I don't know, but it's been a long time. But literally steel beams running along the wood, and then they get to the wall and there's no connection. Or occasionally they put a plate up.
Wow.
But they didn't connect the plate and the beam. So there's a plate on the wall and there's a steel beam, and they just don't connect.
Yeah, but someone had to sign the inspection. Was it ever inspected?
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is the question about 1992,
yeah.
and I think they're good questions, and I think
Usually when something like this comes up, it's smoke. They want you to look this way, so you miss something on the other side.
okay.
So I think that I'm a little suspicious that they there's nothing you can do about it. Even if
Right.
you caught the person red-handed, statute of limitations would.
Oh yeah, it's been how long?
Yeah,
It's been
So-
30. Yeah.
So let's put our binoculars elsewhere. What else is going? What is? Let's start off with the comment from the audience. What's the deficit this week? How much is it this week? Nobody knows. So that's a good question to
that
ask
is a
tonight.
good question to ask. Yeah.
They haven't got back. I thought there was a motion requesting an update on.
There
The
was,
cost.
I don't think that's in my packet. I'll look at my packet again before tonight. I don't think that's on my packet tonight, though. The last conversation was around the steel beams. I know that there were conversations. The floor issue is what killed this.
Yep.
And I don't want to lose sight of the floor issue being what killed this.
What's the floor issue?
So the floor issue is that they drilled one boring hole in the basement.
Who's the they?
Skanska is the owner's project manager. Suffolk is the lead construction company, and then I don't know if they had a subcontractor specifically for the boring holes in the foundation testing, but they said we didn't want to disturb class, right? So they just did one boring. They did one boring hole, and it looks good. And then it turned out that there was in fact no foundation. And then we all collectively, meaning the school side, the construction team, the city, decided, yeah, the amount of water that has come into this building over the last 100 years. Surely there's been no impact on the foundation. There's 3 feet of water sitting down there just a couple of years ago, but I'm sure that everything is fine. I'm sure there's been the foundation was gone. There's a gap of air, right? So they had to, and they found that out too late because they had only done the one.
Well, the water came from the canal. The canal wall has failed, has any attention been given to the canal wall? Now, I watched this Ground Innovation TV and all these ads. Why don't they call somebody, just seal the canal so it stops leaking into the building? Has anybody looked at the canal? The canal wall has failed. Either we poked at it with something and it lost its fortification through our construction, or Mother Nature took over. But it should be looked at. Why is the canal leaking into the school?
The other problem with not just that canal, with all the canals in the
There's
city.
only one canal going by the high school.
There's only one canal going by the high school, but the problem with all of the canals downtown right now is that Boot Hydro, when the canals are empty, these canals were built in the 19th century, in the early 19th century. They're
The 1800s.
in the 1800s. So they structurally need to be filled with water. Like the water actually plays a role, and
exactly.
I'm not a civil engineer.
No,
right?
it puts pressure on the walls.
My understanding is, the water puts pressure on the walls that keeps
Bunk.
them.
That's baloney. They're empty every Saturday.
But
Except for all these rules apply except for Saturday.
They've been empty for the better part of a year and a half.
And I think during the winter, because of the change of temperatures, you get that icing effect, you know. When it-
Because
they've been empty
but
for the better
Sean,
part of a
when
year
these
and a half.
canals were built,
Yeah.
they were empty.
The
Yep.
long term.
They were empty.
Yeah.
So they can be empty.
I don't know how long they can be empty for without, because you have over by Middlesex Community
All I'm
College, you have
saying
that
is
wall is
You
going
have water. You have water coming in the basement of brand spanking new buildings on the eastern side of the canal. Draw the water down, seal it, so it can't penetrate that wall anymore, and your problem will go away.
I also don't know about the wisdom of building large finished basements in what is historically a swampy, marshy wetland, which is what downtown was.
Yeah.
I think we're at like 2 feet above sea level.
Well, question for the audience: are there any other buildings near other canals that have flooded basements? It's just as near as the high school.
I will say that my building gets we get a lot of water in our basement.
Okay.
We don't have 3 feet running through like that one time. I mean, I'm sure there's more than that. But my point on the water was more that the construction company absolutely had reason to have done more boring holes to test the fund, because the hit to the construction budget was the delay more than it was anything else. And so if they had known about this problem ahead of time and had budgeted the time appropriately, then there wouldn't have been the delay.
I got a comment from Bart. Sean's quote: the city's sins from the past. There are so many. We're going to need an exorcism. That's
now, do we have an estimate of when the high school is going to be complete?
We do, and I think it's not next year, it's the year after, but I'm afraid of ever saying anything about when the high school is going to be done. Lowell and school renovations, is the stock also the last big one?
When did you take the tour recently?
The Saturday of Winterfest.
Now, let me ask you, did you notice the front of the auditorium there? They have, it looks like pressure treated wood. Is that a temporary support for the walkway up? It looks like it just looks awful. I don't know if you noticed that.
On the where?
On the French Street side. The auditorium, the student auditorium, they have like pressure treated wood for a barrier for railing.
I think that's all temporary.
Okay, all right, because I'm like, holy mackerel.
The new auditorium, when the new auditorium opens, that is a nice looking space, and that should be opening soon. That was supposed to open
really?
They were just putting the handrails in last
Is that
I saw.
in the new?
And that's in the
building?
part of the building that's currently open. So they were
Okay.
finishing up the auditorium. That is a gorgeous
wasn't
space.
open for the boxing matches. It was open for the boxing, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, they had the boxing at the auditorium.
They had the boxing at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, the high school
The
auditorium.
high school.
Oh.
We're talking. We're
The
still
high
at
school
the
auditorium,
school.
they managed to save all the original floor. I mean, they cleaned it up nice. They got nice seats in. They get the handrail. It's a very, very nice space.
Wonderful.
I mean,
So, Sean, what else do you, no, I should say, Cisco, what else do you have on your magical list to talk about today?
topics on. I know we're in budget
Oh, boy.
time. So, how's that for a new junior counselor? How is budgeting on
Yeah,
for you? What have you on? Have you really dived into that? Or
yeah, this is gross. So Councilor Robinson put in a motion, I think at our second meeting, which obviously hasn't gotten a response yet, asking for the dollar amount and percentage increase of ordinance employees over, I forget his time period. It was the last handful of years. It might have been since we let the manager put people where any ordinance employee wherever he wanted on the salary grid. But because we never got a response a few weeks ago, I started building my own motion response. And so I haven't done 2022 yet, but I have 2023, 24, 25, and 26 budgets. I have all of the ordinance employees' salaries, where they started, where they went, where they started, where they went. It's obscene, the amount of money that we're spending. So that's where I'm at. I mean, I've got, so city manager, we budgeted $276,158 for the 2026 budget. Eileen Donahue finished at $257. Tom Golden's first year was $244, so it's a $32,000 raise, like $32,000 in raises. CFO was at $181 in the 23 budget. 190 in the 24 budget is now $251,000. I wish I could get a $60,000 raise over a couple of years. You ever gotten a raise like that, John?
Well, when you have Andover trying to pull your strings, so Andover calls up who has much bigger, deeper pockets than I do.
Yep.
The city of Lowell does, and they say, Cisco, we want you to host a town life program, and we'll give you $25,000 a year. Now you come back to me and you say, hey, John, I like doing city life, but there's no money there. Andover's going to give me $25K. And I would say goodbye, good luck, and God
Yeah,
bless.
that's fine.
But when you're a Lowell and you go like, oh, no, we can't lose you, Cisco. We'll give you a $26K raise. Okay. That's why a lot of these raises happen.
I don't know that I don't know that they actually have gotten an offer
Don't think
from
for
anywhere
2
else.
seconds that your $1,000 a day guy, Tom Golden, the wonderful Tom Golden.
I mean,
a round of applause for him.
I also think it
he's
comes
going to
down to
let
the
go of
budget, John.
either he's going to let go of Baldwin or Machado? You think he's going to let go of either one of those guys?
No, but
He wouldn't. They're propping him up big time, and he knows it.
I understand.
He's got to have those 2 people working with him. Otherwise, his smoke and mirrors will be gone.
Yeah, but it comes down to a budget. So
Chief Information
when
Officer.
the budget's presented, and you don't even go through the lines in the budget to determine, what we're actually paying and the raises, you fail.
I think that's going to change this year.
And I hope it changes. But
Sean had something he wanted to say, though.
I was going to say it's not city. Okay, city solicitor. In 23, budgeted 142,936. In 2026, budgeted 184. And I would imagine when we get this budget, and we're going to be talking, and we've already started talking, right, about publicly. The talk has already started about what the tax increase is going to look like, what potential workforce reductions could look like. I find it unconscionable to be looking at people who have gotten $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, $40,000, $60,000 raises in the case of our chief financial officer in the last handful of years. If they they're going to continue to get raises, and we're gonna hit the city with a 5% hike, and we're going to potentially talk about reductions in workforce. We're going to talk about, we're sunlighting ARPA. Okay, I understand ARPA's going away, so all the ARPA funding stuff. Oh, we have to have a serious conversation. It costs $136,000 to run the bookmobile. The bookmobile actually provides a service. Of all the things in the city that
Yes,
we
yeah,
pay, like that
yeah.
actually, we're a pretty large city with one library branch. The library is the entire library budget is chump change in the city budget.
Well, the city council has forgotten Lowell is loaded with poor people. What's the average salary in Lowell? $45,000 a year.
Yeah, roughly.
$45,000 a year. I can say that all day long. Anybody in City Hall make less than $45,000 a year? Going to read 2 comments from the audience. When it comes to government projects, boy, we got to go for break too. Government projects, it's always over budget. Look at the cost the city put into bathrooms, the concession stand at the Shed Park. Why did the manager get an extension when we have homeless overages, high school empty, downtown horrible roads? Can anyone explain why? It's a popularity contest. He knew we
No, it wasn't. I can explain why after the break.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring that back because I'm interested in that.
We're going to go to break land, and we'll be back in about 15, 20 seconds. They'll make their coffee over there.
We're going to have coffee, yes.
All right. You guys are off.
Find out because I'm interested in that.
We're going to go to break land, and we'll be back in about 15, 20 seconds. They'll make their coffee over there.
We're going to have coffee, yes.
You guys are off.
Yep.
Oh, we're back from break and welcome to City Life here in Lowell. My name's Francisco Maldonado, and we have Sean Mcdonough with us today. This is the second half, and we're going to continue talking about what we started on earlier in regards to the budget and
Somebody had asked why you thought I was kidding. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you really don't care. You'd say anything." It's true. I'll say anything. Why the manager got an extension when he did? And
the extension. Yeah, let's talk.
In an election year.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Well early of the expiration date.
I mean, I personally think if you're making the salary that he's making, John says all the time, $1,000 a day, man.
But here's
you should be working without a contract, and you should be on.
Well, the contract says just cause is determined by a majority vote of
Okay.
the city council, so it's a pay scale. But the issue is, this is why. There was a home rule petition. We were changing the way that we did that we filled vacancies, right?
Oh, okay.
So then Senator Kennedy had said, and this was said on the floor, we were days away from the the confirmation, the passage that would have enabled the special election to fill former mayor and then former city councilor John Leahy's seat when he took the job at the school department.
Okay.
Instead of waiting, city officials, including a former elections director, basically came and stood in front of the council and said, "We can never ever have a special election. So whoa, that's way too much. We can't do that." Right? And there was an open meeting law violation that was substantiated because who the next city councilor was going to be, it was predetermined. And instead of letting people in Belvedere vote, which is where the seat was vacated, 6 councilors appointed a friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. And then with that vote secure is when we finalized ramming through the Lopoli deal, and I think more importantly, potentially to why the appointment was necessary, we also immediately out of left field brought up an extension to the manager's contract
manager, yeah.
once you knew the vote was secure through that appointment. Had there been a special election, I don't know that the votes would have been there.
Yeah.
And I think it's not an accusation.
And
It's an observation and a question.
but
I'm not telling you that's why it happened.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I
Yeah,
think
but
it's
there was
interesting.
no
Lowell's an interesting
there
place.
was no reason for the an extension. They had a contract. You know what I mean? That just came out of nowhere and just didn't seem right. You know what I mean?
But the votes were there.
Yes,
And the votes were there because of the appointment.
and they knew the election was gonna probably change.
I don't know that they
things.
knew the election, but people like certainty. It's the same reason we can never get anyone to talk seriously about evaluating Plan E. People like the powers that be like knowing that they know. They like knowing that they know.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I
Yeah.
mean, that's really all it is. It's not like it's not a conspiracy. It's not like there's nothing. I'm not assigning malice either. I think you stay where you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You stay where you're comfortable.
So on zoning, I've been reading up on something happening in the State House in regards to getting rid of zoning and making it so that you can build housing anywhere. This this thing they're selling. Oh, we're building affordable housing. We need less restrictions. We have tons of homeless people. We need more house. And there's nothing being built that's affordable. What's your take on?
So
zoning?
I'd have to look up whatever you're talking about with the State House, but I do know that last week, we had a subcommittee meeting. We had a joint subcommittee meeting with zoning and neighborhoods to look at a report, to get a presentation and to look at a report that was done by some consultants hired by the city in conjunction with DPD to do a zoning audit. To look at Lowell zoning code and say, basically, here's what's missing. Here's some suggested changes. Here's where we think you should go from here. And this is very early stage right now, and they were really clear to say that many times. And so before I say anything else, I want to make sure this is not finalized. This is not being voted on yet. This is just early stage. However, the report that we got. That is available. It's available. I'll see if I can post it somewhere as well. But it is available in a agenda packet from several weeks ago. I think it was late December, before I was on the council, is when the packet had. But the kinds of changes that are being proposed are not good.
No,
they're bad. They're bad. They're not good. Particularly, and I'm downtown, back central, a little bit of the Acre, Centerville, Pawtucketville. Typically, these zoning changes, I think, got support from councilors from some of the denser parts of the city, because it was if Belvedere loses 1,000 feet of lot space, they can live with it. They get 10,000-foot lots.
Yep.
This zoning proposal, this early draft that needs to undergo substantial changes before I think it can get anywhere, in back central, in parts of Centerville where it's zoned urban multifamily, right now on the books you need 1,000 square feet per dwelling unit on that lot size, which is not particularly large. In Belvedere, I think it's a 10,000 square foot lot size.
Okay.
And so now in back central urban multifamily, it's 1,000 feet per dwelling unit. They want to reduce that. The proposal is to reduce from 1,000 square feet per dwelling unit to 500, meaning that if you have a two-family right now somewhere in back central, this proposal wants your landlord to be able to turn that into a four-family, because that's what would happen, right? You take a two-family that's sitting on the appropriately sized 2,000 square foot lot. There's nowhere left to build. You've been in back central. You've been in back central, Cisco.
Yeah, no, I know.
You've been in parts of lower Centerville.
There's nowhere to park.
Parts of the acre. You shake your neighbor's hand through your windows.
Yeah.
You got cars all over the sidewalks. You get nowhere to put snow. And we want to take a two-family sitting on 2,000 square feet. We want to turn that into a four-family because now the landlord can get two times the rent. And that's what it comes down to. And that's who's running. And when you hear affordable housing, when you hear zoning changes, that used to actually mean something. And I think increasingly what it means is it's a bunch of hand waving we do to cover for our very wealthy developer friends, because when you look at who benefits from these arrangements, it is Wynn Properties, it's Bell Tower, it's
But I get this feeling that up at Beacon Hill, their legislators are now, their primary jobs, when they're not legislating, is they're selling real estate. And they're making,
I get three comments from the audience.
deals to
Okay.
benefit their own personal
Wait, the texters.
wealth.
He gets mad.
Okay, the CFO gets a $60,000 raise. The average citizen makes $45K. I thought it was only private, put the camera on me, thought it was only private corporations that were greedy. Moving right along. The city manager is weak and is taking zero responsibility for the problems of the city. If he had the stones, he would explain questions we all have. What a coward. That's from Jay. And then that last comment says, Cisco, please. It's the government term, market rate. Back to you guys.
So I think that when zoning changes are proposed, when housing is used as do we need more housing? Yeah, I do think that. I think that might make me different than some of the other people on this morning. It might, I don't know. It definitely makes me different than some of the people I've been voting with recently. We do need more housing.
I agree.
We do. We need to build more. Are there zoning changes that need to be made in order to enable that construction? Yes. Do they need to be well thought out? Also, yes. Do they need to take into consideration the people that already live here? Yes.
Yes.
I think that anytime you see proposed changes to zoning or to housing, I would really ask and urge you to not just look at what happens either with rose-colored glasses or with a pitchfork at what's happening to Belvedere, to the Upper Highlands, and to Pawtucketville, to the kind of single-family, the suburban single-family home areas in the city. I would also ask that you look and see what the proposal is doing in the already dense parts of the city. Are we taking a big broad brush that says 2 times as many people and just painting it right over these incredibly crowded sections of the city that are predominantly absentee landlord owned, and that is really going to have no effect other than adding additional income to it?
Comment from the audience. This is from Corey Robinson, one of your colleagues on the city councilors. The yes in God's backyard bill was filed by an employee, state rep of the Bell Tower Group. Thanks, Corey.
You know that legislation that they were trying to move through the House? That was in regards to the church property being able to build on unlimited.
So I don't
housing.
like. It's not.
No.
It's not unlimited, but I don't like it. I don't like it probably for different reasons. One of the reasons I don't like it is I don't think it is good practice to be creating special exemptions for religious groups. I don't. One, I don't think we should be making a special exemption like that. Two, I think we tried having religious organizations be landlords. We did it in some countries in Europe. It took until the fall of Franco in Spain to lose the church as a
Don't bring
landlord.
up the fact they never have to pay real estate taxes.
Well, they don't have to pay real estate tax, and also I just don't think that the church has any business being somebody's landlord. I just don't. You want the church to be your landlord? Join a convent. Go join a monastery.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I just don't think. And I mean, I don't know. Didn't Lowell Catholic want a 99-year lease on Callery Park? Maybe they'll put a high rise in.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you: would you be willing to go forward with a motion in regards to service fees for nonprofits, the university or churches for the services that the city provides? I mean,
Corey Robinson reminds us 50 units per acre was called for in the House version. 50 units per
Oh, I think that's an awful bill. I do. I don't like it. I also don't think that. I don't know. I've been joking that the next iteration of a House bill is going to be to abolish local government.
I got two more. There is a system in place here in the state. The machine just needs replacement parts that fit the system. How many city managers have come from the State House? It's called Bacon Hill. God, this guy's good. Bacon Hill. It's called Bacon Hill, Cisco. We all love the crispy bacon. I got one more to go here. And one more to go. Don't forget, the university doesn't pay tax either. Good point.
I think the problem on Beacon Hill and the problem in the city of Lowell are not. They're not that far off. It's in national politics. People don't have. It's very easy in national politics. I think probably because you don't know anybody involved personally ever. You don't know any of them. Mm-hmm. I don't. To assign blame on the amount of money and the lobbyists and they must be padding the money. But I mean, you're out of your mind if you think that doesn't happen. And in state and local politics, it's just that the contractors are different. In national politics, it's defense contractors mostly.
Corey Robinson continues. That would have been 600 units on West 6th Street in Centerville, the St. Louis project. 600 units. That's 1,200 cars.
No, they're all going to take the monorail, John.
Bicycles.
600
bicycles.
And what are units rented for? 2,000,
No,
3,000?
the parking part's got to go. It's got to be, should be listed. And, if the city doesn't want to change the ordinance, Sean, you should have signage that says there's no parking. There's only so many parking spots on this property.
Yes.
Right.
It should be a prominently made sign so the incoming people who are buying these condos.
Know that they can't fit their car anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you just park on the street.
Also, it's bold of you to think that anyone's buying the condos. They all wind up becoming rentals.
But the rental people got to park someplace too.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no one in New England that doesn't have a car. I mean, you need it during the winter. I mean, how many bikes you see out during the snowstorm?
But what it comes back to, and I mean, do yourself a favor and look through. OCPF is public, but in local politics, it is real estate developers. So no one has an issue. No matter your political bent, right? Nobody has an issue when you look at national politics saying, why would the Democrats want to do that? Why would the Republicans want to do that? And going, boop, 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 boop. Here's the donor group. Yeah. Nobody has an issue doing that. Yeah. It's very easy for anyone who thinks about politics. Not a Thanksgiving dinner goes by that someone can't say, here's the money. The same thing, follow the money. It's local. It's local and it's state too. And the money in local politics is real estate developers. Mm-hmm. And every community has their own, and the biggest ones go down to Beacon Hill. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Drake has plenty of land. Tewksbury has plenty of land. Chelmsford has plenty of land. Tyngsboro has plenty of land.
Mm-hmm.
Build out there.
I agree there, John. I mean, yeah, I you know, there's
John
a
and
lack
Jane
of
need a
housing,
place to park.
but there's plenty of property that we can build on and still meet the zoning that's comfortable
Well,
for everyone.
In the city of Lowell, because Lowell is an interesting place. And NIMCOG is an interesting organization, but Lowell, like NIMCOG, the most ferocious voices, the loudest voices for zoning changes and continued development, come from people who live on large lots, on relatively large lots, in the rural or less dense, either rural in the case of NIMCOG, rural surrounding communities, or our least dense neighborhoods in the case of Lowell. When people show up at City Hall and say, you know, the housing production plan thing, the people pushing that, they live in the Highlands and Belvedere and Pawtucketville. I don't hear anyone from back central coming and saying, hey, I want my neighborhood denser. I don't hear anyone in Centerville, in lower Centerville especially, showing up and calling me and saying, hey, you know what, I want 8 more neighbors.
Well, speaking of Centerville, who approved the development on Christian Hill? How many homes are going to be there? The Apple Orchard?
Apple Orchard, I think, is only 3 homes, and I don't think it was subject to, it was just
okay.
a site plan review,
Interesting. Thank you.
I think. If Councilor Robinson's still texting, he probably has a better answer, but I believe that was just a site plan review.
No, that wasn't. That was from Jay.
No, I know. I was saying, if Corey, if you're still watching and you know the answer.
But Christian Hill wasn't on 17 the number of houses that are going to be built up there?
I thought the Apple Orchard project was only the 3.
Okay. So it's...
This is why zoning is important, and it's also, in the current vice chairman of the planning board made this point at the Markley meeting, and then also outside of the Markley meeting, Jerry Frechette said that zoning is important, and special permits and special licenses are important because it's in the special permits and the special licenses that you're able to negotiate for the kinds of community agreements that I think a lot of people in the city want to see. I think I haven't seen unified support behind something like this in Lowell in a long time. I think you have people on both sides of the housing issue, on both sides of a lot of issues that are looking at these community benefit agreements. And the only way that we can get there is not with by right zoning or with a more lax zoning code. It's through special permits and special licenses, because that's the lock that we can put on that, you know, only
We're
the
going
council
over
has
to
the key
announcements now. So out at the Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce, you're invited to their annual meeting, which is tomorrow, at the Luna Rosa, 1699 Shawshene Street out in Tewksbury at noon to 2 p.m. I've gone to this thing before. Delicious event. You get a lot of good information there. That's tomorrow. The Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce annual meeting at Luna Rosa. Coming right up is State Rep Rodney Elliott and the Bridge Club of Greater Lowell present St. Patrick's Day breakfast honoring Jay Linehan. That's coming up this Saturday, March 14th at 9 a.m. out to Lindsay's, $50 a ticket. You can purchase your tickets right here. Take your phone out of your pocket, put it in camera mode, and zero in on this QR code, and it will bring you to a website. You can buy the tickets right online. Moving right along here. Irish Cultural Week's happening all week long here today. Tuesday, March 10th, the Lowell Irish Trivia Night, 7 p.m. at Owen and Ollie's Restaurant in Dracut. So if you're going out to dinner tonight, head out to the Owen and Ollie's Restaurant and enjoy some Irish trivia. The Lowell Firefighters Club, Stanley Trzynski and Company. If you don't know Stanley, well, you're going to know Stanley. Cadillac of a
Stanley,
guy.
yeah.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Lowell Firefighters Club. Come and join us for a festive day. Our traditional corned beef and cabbage dinner. Dinner starts at noon and will be served until we run out. You can't go wrong with this great meal. Come and enjoy it. Lots of fun. Hope to see you March 17th. All members and guests are welcome, and their address is 362 Fletcher Street, right across from the DeBoers on, the Market
Market
Basket
Basket, yeah,
on
on Fletcher Street.
Fletcher Street, thank you. Then we got out to Tewksbury, Tuesday, March 17th. That's a week from tomorrow. They're going to have corned beef and cabbage, and just best tasting corned beef and cabbage I ever had. I went to this last year, and it's at the Tewksbury Sportsman's Club. And the deal is $6 for old time. You kids have to pay $12.
Oh, wow.
But old
Veterans.
timers like me,
And veterans. that's
old timers, seniors, vets, and kids, $6.
Oh,
And I'll tell you, you better don't eat the day before. You're going to leave completely filled that day.
let's go.
Daffodil Day is coming up at Lowell General Hospital, March 19th, 9 to 4 p.m. And they'll be selling the daffodils, $10 per bunch, $12 per potted daffodil. And that's at both locations, by the Lowell General Hospital or the Saints Campus lobby. Moving right along. The Tewksbury 9/11 Memorial Fundraiser, never forget. Well, that beautiful monument needs attention now and then. They have a fundraiser this coming up on March 26th at the Wamasett Lanes, a tasty time there. If you ever gone there, you can bring your kids. There's games to play. They can bowl. A real fun spot that coming up on, when is this? March 26th. If you got any questions, you can call Mark Kratman. And that's it. Moving right along here, we got a few more. This is pretty interesting. The absolute auction. Let me blow this up so you can take a picture of this. They're going to auction off this courthouse right here.
Oh, wow.
They're going to auction off this courthouse. And it's going to be, they're going to have a walkthrough. I'll blow this up so you can see it a little better. Hit plus a couple of
Who's gonna
times.
end up with that
Okay, you
property?
can take your phone out of your pocket there, take a picture of this if you want to. But it's called an absolute auction.
Absolute option.
And they're going to have tours of the building, March 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. And then on Tuesday, March 24th from 11 to 1. All your questions are due by April 3rd. And bidder qualifications due by April 24th at 3 p.m. And the auction is going to take place Wednesday, June 10th. And for more information, you can call, go to this guy's website, or that's his 800 number. But keep an eye on this building. We'll see what's going to happen to it. Be very interesting with no parking happening in Lowell. They could put up another courthouse right next to it and make condos. Yep, thank you, City of Lowell. Taste of the Town. Out in Tewksbury, Wilmington, Chamber of Commerce presents Taste of the Town, Thursday, April 19th at the Hilton Garden Inn, Tewksbury, 4 Highwood Drive in Tewksbury. Tickets are $30 and go up. And what happens is many of the restaurants in Tewksbury and Wilmington bring their favorites to this celebration, and you can have steak tips, your Chinese food. There's all kinds of great stuff there. And it's Irish Cultural Week. This is what's going on for the rest of the week. You want to take your phone. If you like this Irish culture and you'd like to attend, take the phone out of your pocket, take a picture, because there's stuff going on today, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Back to you guys. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. That was a lot of information there,
It's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
things to do.
announcements. Yeah.
I mean, I've probably had enough corned beef. I've been eating corned beef since the beginning of the month. But I'll still go. I like corned beef. So
Where do you go to get it?
I just go to Market Basket. But
Oh, you make it yourself?
yeah, I was making it myself.
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Sean? Do you do it, corned beef and cabbage?
I like corned beef and cabbage.
So where do you get it from?
I also just get it at
Your,
Market
your own
Basket.
kitchen?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. My
Okay.
mom's kitchen, actually.
Oh, your mother's kitchen.
My mother makes a lot, and then I will go up and we'll grab some and we'll bring a little home.
There's a lot of good places, but I'll tell you, last year I went to Kilkenny's Pub on Roger Street. Went there, got some delicious stuff. And then we went to that Constantine thing at the Tewksbury Tingsboro Sportsman's Club. Plenty of good corned beef and cabbage.
No,
It's a lot easier just to go to your corner restaurant and enjoy it down there. That's my take.
It's a
That's-
good
it's
comfort
a good
food.
move.
Yeah.
But if your mother's making it, why not?
She makes it. I go. And my wife Carolyn doesn't eat meat, so we don't cook a whole lot of meat. Declan eats meat. I eat meat outside of Lent. I don't. I go all Lent, no meat. I don't know why I do this to myself every year. I could give up anything else.
So you
but I
won't be
do.
having any.
No beef for me. There are times that
You just double-tracked. You said you're going to your mother's for corned beef?
well, okay, because it's a feast day. So on St. Patrick's Day, I can eat it. I asked a priest once. They said it's okay. They said on the feast day because it's St. Patrick's Day. I normally I don't get caught in my
Double track ceremony?
my double tracks, but so I go no meat all Lent every year. I've done no meat all Lent every year since college, except that on St. Patrick's Day, because it's a feast day, and that is like the traditional food of St. Patrick's Day, as far as anyone around here is concerned, then on that Tuesday, I'm fine.
Okay.
I remember our parish priest growing up, and this is, I think, where I got it. Our parish priest growing up, there was one year that St. Patrick's Day fell on a Friday, and it was in Lent, because St. Patrick's Day is always in Lent. And they had said, oh, no, even though it's Friday in Lent, you can still do the corned beef thing, because it's the Feast of St. Patrick.
I got an unusual question here from Jay. On a different note, Japanese food or Chinese food, what does the panel prefer? I call all Asian food Chinese food. I don't care if it's Japanese restaurant or Korean restaurant.
There's a big difference, John, between Chinese, Korean, and Chinese, Korean, and Japanese.
So which one do you prefer, Japanese or Chinese?
We grew up on Chinese, so I would say Chinese is.
How about you, Sean?
preferred.
I like all three. On Americanized Chinese food, can't beat Mandarin. It's across the street from where I live, so that's my go-to American Chinese spot. For like the really good Chinese food is Tasty Dumpling. I think it's technically in the Acre, but it's right by City Hall. Tasty Dumpling is phenomenal, and it's a bit more. I don't know if it's authentic or not. I've never been to China, but it's certainly not Americanized Chinese food.
Okay.
But sushi's good. And then on other kind of Southeast Asian food, Simply Kamai is very good, too.
How about the sushi
Joe
at
Espinola
Market Basket is.
Joe Espinola reminds us that Constantine's St. Patty's Day benefits the Hidden Battles Foundation that helps veterans and first responders and their families. A great organization. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. I do like sushi, though.
Yeah, the stuff that they put out on Market Basket isn't bad. I mean, it's not some of the crazy on raw fish, but like the California rolls.
I will eat almost anything.
Yeah,
I will eat almost anything. I will eat anything once.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to really like most Japanese food, beyond sushi, but Chinese food, most Chinese food. The Khmer food is really good. I can't pronounce most of the restaurants outside of oh my God, what's its name?
Two comments from the audience, and it says
Pihapavatumi is
You
very
know what
good.
I haven't had was
but I can't pronounce it.
Got two comments from the audience. They want you to believe that public transportation is the way to go. The only problem is we have the worst public transportation in the country. That's from Bart. But I don't think it's too bad, but that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. Thank you for your comment. Moving right along, don't forget the green cream-filled cupcakes next Tuesday. That's from Bart.
Also true.
I know public transportation can get better. I mean, if we're spending billions upon billions dropping bombs overseas, why can't we spend more money on public transportation throughout the whole nation and improve stuff?
Well, you got to get people. When was the last time you rode the bus, Cisco?
Oh,
Like
no,
the
it
chicken
has
and
to
the
be.
egg fry.
It has to be
No,
cheaper.
just a second. I'm asking Cisco.
The last time was when I was in high school, probably.
Okay, so you don't know the current mode or the quality. You don't know the current quality of.
Well, I know what the
I know where the
complaints
bus-
about right now is when they moved on all the buses from downtown to centralize them at the train
Probably
station.
Probably 15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are not happy with that move.
I think.
I
Never
think
mind.
the ride you get on the LRTA buses is a good ride, and I'll stand
And
up
it's
for them
free
anytime.
too.
I think it's a good ride. Service could be a little bit more frequent, but
I agree there.
I think that one of the, and it gets left out of every conversation about density, is if you're going to pack people in, right? If you're going to zone for density, and I live in a very dense neighborhood.
You live in downtown.
I live in downtown, which is a neighborhood. I don't know, anyone who thinks downtown's a business district is kidding themselves. The Acre is more of a business district, sorry. That's what it is. That's just true.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
predominantly residential. Almost every business has moved out. It's a couple of government offices, some nonprofits and residences. There's a handful of restaurants. It's a neighborhood. Back Central is a very dense neighborhood. Lower Centerville, all of Centerville, but especially Lower Centerville, very dense neighborhood. Outside of Centerville, what we're missing is if I want to go to the grocery store, it's a 1.1 mile walk, which I can do. I'm 30 years old. It gets very annoying if I need to bring my kid with me. I'm getting in the car, right? Because if I can go a mile, get all of my groceries so we can
Have
come
you
back.
been to the grocery store over in Zayers? You know where Zayers used to be?
He doesn't remember.
Where's theirs?
The corner of Lawrence
It's
and
the
Church
Church
Street.
Street.
Oh, Foodland
lot,
International?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been in there?
I've been in there.
Okay.
Have you been in there?
Never.
Okay.
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 I'm not.
You're not doing
my
you're
wife-
not doing a grocery shop in
My
Foodland.
wife's the buyer. I'm the consumer.
Foodland is a very interesting experience, and I would encourage
Everyone should give it a shot, right?
everyone should give Foodland. Everyone should, Jeez. Everyone should give Foodland a shot. They have things you've never seen before. Okay.
Well, we do have an international community here in Lowell.
No, but I've lived a lot of places, John. I've lived a lot of places. Foodland. When I have a hankering for food that I could only buy abroad, I will go to Foodland. They have produce from all over the world. It is not always the freshest, but sometimes it is. They seem to have their own butcher in there who's doing cuts of meat. He does a very good job. They have every fish of the sea. I think every single fish.
Nice.
And it's live.
They have a lot of freshwater fish. It's a very interesting store. It's a good store. You're not, unless that is the kind of cooking that you do every night, you're gonna have a hard time doing a full grocery shop.
Now,
there,
let's
so.
go to the other part of town. The Market Basket on Fletcher Street's a mile from you.
It is,
Wow. Okay. Well,
and you get. I mean, between
That seems closer than a mile. It's actually.
it's a mile. The way you have to walking or driving, it's a mile.
Agree,
yeah,
I agree there.
because
so
you have to
what would have
go.
to happen, Sean? What would have to happen for the buses to make you happy?
I think the buses are mostly okay. I think that I don't
Can
know.
you get one from your house to Demoulas's? Or to Market
I could
Basket?
walk to get to that Market Basket. It's the easiest Market Basket to get to on the bus is to walk over to the library and take, I think it's the 7 out to Pawtucketville, because you can get a direct line from close enough to downtown to a Market Basket without a
Do you know what streets this
changeover.
bus goes down? Do you know what streets this bus goes down?
The
Because we have a flag bus system.
Yeah.
What that means is
Yeah, you can flag the bus down and get on
you
it.
can give the bus driver a hearty wave, and they will pull over for you.
So that bus comes up Arcan Drive. It's
Does
not
it-
Arcan Drive yet. It's
Does it go down Market?
It doesn't go down Market. The one, because it leaves Gallagher, it comes down, it turns left at City Hall. You can get on there and take that out to the Market Basket on the Boulevard. Typically, I walk. If I'm not gonna drive to the grocery store, I walk. The only
Well, if Tommy Bowman was here, I would ask him why the circulator bus doesn't go by Demoulas's.
right. It's a good question.
Because if you could hop on the circulator bus, that'd be cool.
It would be great. It would be great. I also think like if I had a magic wand, other than school dismissal, I don't know that many of our buses are full, and I do wonder if a smaller bus that ran more often would be a better use of our time.
So you just mentioned that at one point I recall we used to have a shuttle throughout the city just without stopping at the depot.
We still have we have a downtown
do they have
circulator,
okay.
but it goes to the depot. Yeah, the downtown shuttle.
But it doesn't stop it on the supermarket, and it's not frequent. It's not running every, constantly. I don't use the bus to go. So I've used when we would take our kids when I was teaching at the high school. If we were going to take the bus to Market Basket, we took the city bus out to Pawtucketville. If it was nice weather, we walked because it is infinitely easier. Yes.
Infinitely easier to walk to Market Basket.
Go ahead. When you're done.
Sorry. My comment was less about that everyone should use public transportation and more that when we're making zoning changes and we're thinking about density, that neighborhoods in residential areas, which when you zone them more densely, you're just compounding, need amenity. Amenity includes grocery stores, it includes parks, so if you don't want people in cars, you got to give them stuff that they can get to without getting in the car. That's all.
Okay, so question from the audience: better cooks, men or women? Are you kidding me, woman? Why is the bus free? Did they make it free? It's free, and ridership did go up. So that's from Jay, asking questions I know the answers to. Because Tommy Bomil, he's on the bus board.
Yes.
He gets by once a week, but he's off helping the people out in Connecticut this week. And then how would I get from the neighborhood town using public transportation? Well, you walk down Main Street and wave down a bus. That's how you do it. Depends on what town you live in. Thank you for your comments. Back to you guys.
No, I like the fare free. The fare free bus is great, and that's paid for by the state.
No, I think that's.
I think the LRTA is not awful. There are things I think like a more frequent bus to the grocery store would be great. I'm not always convinced. I don't know that I agree with either side. The Gallagher terminal is the best terminal side, or the bring it back downtown side. Sometimes I look at the city of Lowell and I'm not a transit planner and way out.
I would say the circulator bus should hit Demoulas's first, and then make it because this way here, when you buy ice cream at the store,
Yeah.
it picks you up first,
Yeah.
and it goes through downtown second.
Well, I think
If they could do that, I'll ask Tommy.
I wonder if we've thought about not doing the spoke and wheel transit mode here and just do bus lines. I think that's what Merrimack Valley Transit does. I'd have to look again, but we know if you're getting on a bus in Centerville, we have a pretty good idea where you're going. Maybe you do want to go to Gallagher, but I don't know that you want to go to Gallagher to spin around and wait for a bus and go here or there.
For nothing. Next thing, you're going to want a buffet on the bus.
No.
What do you expect for nothing?
I think a bus line. I don't know. I don't know if a line makes more sense than the spoke and wheel. That's all. I'm not sure. But I think often the conversation is where should the depot be and where should the hub be, and I guess I'm asking if we need the hub.
The depot ain't going to move.
I know it's not.
And I think that it's time we think about what's going to be more popular. People want to go to the store.
Yeah.
So people out in Tewksbury want to go to Market Basket. And it would be kind of nice to get picked up and dropped off right at the door. Not bad stuff.
Yeah. Back to when you mentioned downtown is being more residential than business. I would like to know, what do you think is the population more senior or more younger now? I know in the past they pushed a lot of the seniors down there. Is that still the case?
So we still have a lot of the senior housing downtown, but downtown is a fairly mixed age community. So you have younger renters, you have a handful of MEs, You have older renters and you have older condo owners. What we're missing, we don't have a lot of, I think the lowest population group off the top of my head is going to be between, it's like 40-year-olds, right?
Okay.
Like that kind of like mid-adult range.
Now, when the Helmington, what's the development across where the Dunkin' Donuts just recently shut down? What's that build?
More housing.
More housing.
It's more
What's
housing.
the name of the building there?
I don't remember the name of the, but I know it's
is-
housing.
Hildreth? I think it's the Hildreth building.
No, the Hildreth building is, so we get Hive on the first floor,
Yeah.
and then there's housing going on the upper floors.
Okay. How many
Um,
units are they
I don't
gonna-
know how many units, I forget.
But I think that's going to change the dynamics down there.
Well, we said this every time we build another
They're
housing
gentrifying
complex.
the city.
No,
Yeah.
but no. But we say this every time we build a housing complex. So the Hive, yeah, the Hive is great. The Hive is a foot traffic driver. But every time anyone says, and the city loves to the city, the DPD says this, the consultants say this. No, we haven't found a problem downtown that we can't solve by adding more people. But we have more people and less. But we have more people than we did 20 years ago.
Yes.
Right. But our commitment, planning side, to thinking that we're going that the path forward for downtown Lowell specifically is large commercial development and not like human scale small businesses is I don't see it as the right move. Downtown needs a grocery store and a park and a thing to do.
They ain't coming. They ain't coming.
Incoming?
They're not coming.
Oh, I know. It's sad. You have 6,000 plus people that live down there, and when you look at successful human scale business districts, small business districts around the city, what do you see when you look in the Highlands, like partially Lower Highlands too, partially like where the Cambodia town stuff is,
Yeah.
or in back central over by what's the square, John? Why am I blanking on its name? You've got the
It's
I'm reading the
Gallagher
agenda. We're
Square
going to do that next.
on
Okay.
Gorham Street. I think.
no, down on oh, we got the agenda. But you have a little there's a small park and then there's a whole business complex with a small parking lot, and it's like a retail. It's
right
retail,
in
a
the
couple
back
like
central,
counter
yeah.
serve places to eat.
Yeah.
There's like a convenience store. There's a real estate person, but that's how it is on Central Street as well. On Central Street, on Lawrence, a portion of Lawrence Street. Lawrence Street is mostly residential, but on Central Street, downtown. That's what downtown. I'm not saying turn downtown into that. I'm saying, Bon Marsh isn't coming back.
No,
Wang
no.
Wang is not coming back.
Woolworth is not coming
Where
back.
Woolworth is not coming back. We have all these people living here, and their interaction with the city is to walk to the
Well,
parking
they went out
garage.
of business because lack of business. If they did a land office business at CVS in downtown Lowell, they'd still be there.
But right, because the people who live downtown are getting in their car and driving out. They're not like if you're not willing, if you got 6,000 plus people that are living on top of a postage stamp, and they're not willing to walk in, they're not willing to walk across the street. They just walk to their parking garage. I think you got a problem.
Customers that will cross the street for 25 cents. You got a Walgreens that went out of business in the senior center. Old buckaroos like me, we need drugs, and we choose to get in our car and drive out to suburbia and get them.
Correct.
When we could have got them right at the senior center at lunch at the same time. Okay, scooting by this
Yes.
council agenda, they get the minutes. Anything interesting here we should take a look at, Sean?
What do we got? We got
We got,
parking garages.
Desmond Noon's got a bunch of stuff going
Yeah,
on.
what's going on?
He does.
Wants to
Yeah.
know what's going on Andover
Is he
Street.
running for a different seat somewhere?
He does this. He builds them up.
The Hunger Homeless Task Force. Meet with the justices of the Lowell District Court to coordinate resources.
You have to talk to Jose Cervantes. This is not our agenda. I was very confused.
Yeah,
December 17th,
I was playing.
Yeah.
I was gonna go along with it because I was like, maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong. Maybe I read the wrong thing.
No,
I
that's-
was very nervous.
I'll go
I was like, I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing any
That
of
was
this, but I
pretty good.
am
Yeah, that's-
really. I am
What's
gonna.
there? Why is
Why
that
is
there?
that? Yeah, I mean.
You got
the first
24
one.
selected though. I don't know why.
It's the first one.
Oh,
Up at the
go
top, click,
back up on the top. You got the wrong year selected.
Down a
I
little
didn't
bit.
select
Oh
anything.
boy.
Oh, but
Oh.
it looks like it's selected
Yeah.
for.
Down a little
You
bit.
pick up on that.
Well, that's
Oh, God.
the,
You got to go down just a little. Yeah, there you go. Now you
this
got
guy
it.
right here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
righty,
it.
we'll go
All
to
right,
current.
there
Well,
we
you want to
go.
look
All
at
right.
tonight's meeting. All right.
Yes,
that's
I was.
it.
I was like, I didn't remember Vesna having that many, and I was maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
I don't
they're
know.
gonna-
It's early.
Are they going to put a motion to reduce the cost of corned beef? That's what I want to know.
We get the data center moratorium we talked about.
Sidney Leg's got a bunch of
He
stuff.
does. He's got 2.
What's he want? A
Couple.
feasibility. Okay. From,
Okay.
nothing here that's earth-shattering. Oh, Councilor Mcdonough, what's going on here?
So this is a few people from the Council on Aging and a couple of the other associated groups had reached out. They're looking for a bench.
A bench, well, where we're gonna put it? Well,
The
we
bench
don't own
already
the place yet.
exists. They're looking to do this, and they seem to have the programming kind of already scoped out. They're looking to have a conversation with the appropriate person at the city about how to implement this happy to chat bench idea that they have. It seems to be it's part of this
Is it
broader.
inside or outside?
It's outside. It's for nice weather, and it has to do with combating loneliness and just it looks like a good idea. They want to have a conversation with the city about it. They've got some ideas for where to put it. They're very, very, very into this idea.
Good idea.
It's a great idea. Other communities are doing it. That's what they're looking at. There's a group statewide that's been, I think, doing some coordination around this. So I'm happy to put them in touch with the right
I'm loving this
people.
one to hear. Explain 5.6.
5.6, my wording is actually wrong. I tried to correct it, but I didn't get my email in time. So the current wording that is admittedly incorrect it's not incorrect, but it could be better. City Council reestablish unanswered non-responsive section on the agenda of regular meetings. What I could have said, and what I tried to change this to, was instead of reestablish, establish, and instead of unanswered and non-responsive, awaiting response felt less aggressive. Reestablish could be appropriate. We have had this unanswered, non-responsive section at various times in the city of Lowell. Other communities have this awaiting response section, and it stays on their agenda.
Unexecuted motions.
And that is
stay
what
on
I'm
the
looking
agenda.
for. Yes, because I think having
You talked to
to.
Corey Robinson. Corey Robinson tried to do this, and they poo-pooed him.
Well, I think we have a different council.
Oh. Well, this would be kind of cool, because now Tommy, see
There'll be
the
accountability.
500 items down below?
Well, and
Why
I
have
think.
you ignored these?
Preemptively, if anyone wants to. So the council rules allow you to propound questions of municipal import at the end of a meeting on anything that's listed on the agenda. And so what this would do is it would allow councilors, without having to refile a motion every 3 weeks when they get another 15 calls from residents about something that they filed several weeks ago but haven't gotten a response back, it would allow them to address it. You also, what I've seen in both other communities that do it and in Lowell when we've had sections like this on agendas, is you bundle it all through and acknowledge it. You don't have to go through reading every single line if nobody has anything to say.
Okay, well, going back to 5.7, Councilor Robinson, a conversation with the superintendent of schools to look at any space consolidation measures that translate into cost savings. Interesting. Then the mayor, the property department looking at adding a blinking stop sign at the four-way intersection of Westford and Foster Streets. and Princeton Avenue and Foster Streets. Okay. Anything else you want in a Hometown Heroes banner and anything that strikes your interest here?
So the tips and ties piece was interesting because it included some numbers on Markley's employment numbers.
That should light up.
What is the employment numbers?
Well,
How many jobs do they actually create?
before we scroll, as we start scrolling down, Markley is trying to say right now that they have created 200 jobs. Okay, and 200 Lowell jobs is what their most recent emails have said. But if we scroll down, there's going to be a chart as we start scrolling. Not this one. Here it is. This is Certified 2025 Annual Job Report, the Markley Group, second from the bottom. It's not 200, it is 101, and they're not Lowell jobs. Only 30 of them are Lowell jobs. So much for your 200 highly skilled jobs that they're saying that we have. We don't.
No.
So I just thought that interesting.
Why isn't that tied to a TIF?
So tied to the TIF is having 100 jobs. And it's a 75 right now they're still getting 75%. And the big piece on Markley that I think everyone misses when we talk about the TIF is that the tax break is not just for Markley. So they get the property tax and the personal tax exemption for Markley. The reason Markley is in Lowell, so that when they pack up and leave, because people are going to try and say, oh, well, this is because of the you made zoning. No. It's because the tax incentives that got them to Lowell applied to their clients. So if you are using a data center service and you want a tax shelter for all of your high-value servers, until the TIF runs out, you move them to Lowell. You move them to Lowell, and then you don't have to, the personal tax exemption, that 75% is, I think, what we're at right now, applies to all of you, the client of Markley's, personal property.
Anything else that's in it? Because we're running out of time.
No, I mean, I'm excited. Councilor Robinson's motion on that school department lease is great. It's about time somebody reminded Nick Saris how much business he does with the city, and you should be careful about defecating where he eats. But it's really it. I want my unanswered motions.
So last night we had Liam Skinner at the neighborhood meeting for the Highlands up on, and
5 minutes.
he there was a question in regards to the freshman academy and his intention to how he was planning to use that building, and he brought up a couple different scenarios. He said to look at the
Your TV just went off, John.
at bringing
These things happen.
the administrators from the building downtown that they rent,
Yes.
which is I think $400,000 they was
No.
mentioning, and
Higher.
higher
It's almost
So-
6.
6.
It's like 560 something, but
Okay.
it's a triple net. So yeah, call it 6.
So monthly,
A year.
a year. Okay,
560, 500, it's 500 and something.
So just say 600,000.
Yeah.
And moving them to the freshman academy and then putting that money into their budget, which is a great.
That's what we should do.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Honestly, the way that Nick Saris has been acting, I would rather have central office work from home than pay that guy rent. That's, I mean, quite honestly. And I think there's office space, but yeah, guy's holding the suit. Guy wants to hold the senior center hostage and try and scam the city. I don't know why we're continuing to pay him.
and we own that building, right?
The senior center building,
No, the freshman academy.
the freshman
yeah.
academy building we own.
And right now, it's not. Is there someone in there right now?
Right now, the high school's still using it
Okay,
until the high school
to
project is
the
done.
renovation, okay. All right, so. And when you're talking, the high school is supposedly gonna be done by 2028?
I think so.
Okay. On the other
Might be
thing.
it might be
The other
halfway
thing
through
that was
27.
brought up on,
Hey, tomorrow, City Life, we're going to
Yeah, we gotta
have
stop.
Linda Bound's going to be the host.
okay, Linda.
Mayor Eric Gitchier's going to be here along with Bob Cox from the Bridge Club. Back to you guys. Time is short, boys.
So we still got 3 minutes. So in regards to, what was I talking about?
I have no idea.
No idea.
So, what do you guys have plans for the rest of the week? You doing anything interesting this week, Sean? I mean, since you're off, you're in between jobs.
I am in between jobs. I'm trying to, yeah, I'm having fun.
Are
Hanging
you
out with
going to the
Declan.
breakfast on Saturday?
Yeah,
The St. Patty's breakfast? I'll be there.
I'll be there.
That's gonna be fun.
Cisco, what are you doing with the rest of the week?
And I'm working on, I'm doing taxes for the family. Talk about taxes. So I was doing my taxes last night. I spent the whole day. You know, there's an option for all these people all our legislators that want to increase taxes. You can choose to pay up to almost 6%
Yeah,
instead
you
of
can choose to pay
5%. I want to know how many of these legislators, who love to taxes, actually do that.
Good luck getting them to call you back.
Yeah. I would love to see how many people check off that love insistent. I mean,
Well, so the only thing I'm going to say on taxes in the 15 seconds is things do cost money, and I understand why we have to pay taxes for things that we actually use. The problem is that when we use the money on things we don't need to pay for, whether it's federal tax money, state tax money, or local tax money, just to reiterate, and I really want to drive home the point that all of that tax money is tax money, whether
We
it's
gotta
federal,
go. No.
federal, state, or local. And when Councilor Dakota
It's not
says it's
free
free money,
money.
it's not free money.
it's not free
Not
money.
free money.
I thought it was free money.